Climate experts warn that the latest forecasts for global temperatures suggest that the Earth is profoundly ill. The World Meteorological Organization says that it expects high or record levels of heat to continue for the next 5 years, which could put targets to limit global warming out of reach. Taxi drivers in the Spanish capital Madrid have gone on strike, protesting new licenses being awarded to the online transport platform Cabify. That's a company similar to Uber. 8,500 extra licenses were awarded for Cabify drivers to operate in Madrid. Taxi drivers say that the new licenses mean vehicles run by online platforms will outnumber taxis in Madrid and saturate the market. Troops from Thailand and Cambodia have opened fire on each other in a disputed border area. Cambodia's defence ministry confirmed that one of its soldiers was killed, while Thailand says that its soldiers were shot at when they went to negotiate with the Cambodians, while Cambodia says that Thai troops opened fire first. The two countries have had a number of clashes over the years at disputed sections of their shared border. And the Swiss village of Blatten has been partially buried after a huge section of glacier broke off and crashed down into the valley. The village had been evacuated due to fears that the glacier was disintegrating, and there are no reports of casualties, but many homes have been completely destroyed. One more story before we go. The grandson of the 10th US President, John Tyler, who served about 180 years ago, has died at the age of 96. Harrison Rufin Tyler was a chemical engineer who lived in Richmond, Virginia, about 100 miles from Washington, D.C. He also founded a water treatment company and was the namesake of the history department at the William and Mary University. But he is perhaps more well known for being the grandson of John Tyler, who served as commander-in-chief from 1841 to 1845. Tyler was elected vice president in 1840, but became president after William Henry Harrison died just 31 days after taking office. Well, Tyler is most known for signing legislation to annex Texas, now the second largest state in the U.S. And during America's Civil War, President Tyler served as an elected representative for the Confederacy. He died in 1862, 163 years before his grandson Harrison, who died this past weekend.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the Trump administration will start revoking the visas of Chinese students. He said that will include anyone with connection to China's Communist Party or students studying in critical fields. Mr. Rubio added they will also revise visa criteria and enhance scrutiny for any future visa applicants from China and Hong Kong. It's part of an overall crackdown on who can get a visa to move to the United States, particularly to study. Just this week, the U.S. paused student visa interviews so they could ramp up social media checks on candidates. And the Trump administration banned Harvard University from enrolling any foreign students, something a judge has blocked. Early voting is now underway for the presidential elections in South Korea. The new president will replace Yoon Suk-yeol, who was removed from office for placing the country under martial law for 6 hours back in December. All major polls have placed Liberal Lee Jae-myung as the clear frontrunner in the presidential race. Trailing behind him is Conservative ex-Labour Minister Kim Moon-soo of the ruling People Power Party. And the election will be held next Tuesday, the 3rd of June. The U.S. federal court has blocked President Donald Trump's tariffs on foreign goods imported into the United States. The ruling by the Court of International Trade says that Mr. Trump exceeded his authority when he penalized foreign nations with the tariffs, which caused chaos on the financial markets. The White House has appealed against the ruling. Now, in earnings news, Nvidia's results smashed expectations despite curbs on the sales of some of its chips to China. The tech company reported that revenues grew in the first quarter of the year, rising more than 69% from a year ago. And the performance helped Nvidia's share price rise by 4% in after-hours trading. Our North America business correspondent has the details in this report from New York.
Nvidia makes the chips that power so much of today's tech. Now, the company started in gaming, became big in data centers, and today it sells an awful lot of AI chips. The question investors had going into these results was, could Nvidia sustain that momentum? Could it meet demand and produce enough chips? Well, based on these results, the answer is yes. Nvidia reported revenue of $44.1 billion, up 12% from the last quarter and up 69% from a year ago. And sales in its all-important data center business, which includes AI chips, grew 73% on an annual basis. As for what the tech giant isn't selling, well, the company had an update on that too. The US government effectively banned the sale of its H20 chips, Nvidia's especially designed chips for Chinese buyers, during the quarter. Now, this is a big deal because those chips aren't really sellable anywhere else. As a result, a month ago, Nvidia warned it would take a charge of $5.5 billion. It actually came in less than anticipated at $4.5 billion. The chipmaker's chief financial officer told investors it was because they were able to reuse certain materials. But going forward, they expect those export curbs will result in a loss in H20 revenue of around $8 billion. Despite these restrictions, Nvidia is still riding the wave of demand for AI chips.
A court in the United States blocks President Trump's controversial trade tariffs. The ruling says Mr. Trump overstepped his authority by imposing across-the-board duties on goods imported from countries like the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, the billionaire Elon Musk leaves the Trump administration, saying he is disappointed with some of the president's economic policies.
The collapse of a glacier in the Swiss Alps. Almost an entire village is swallowed up.